Good morning. Welcome to our seminar, Lending 101. We are part of the Chatham-Kent Small Business Centre. I'm Doug Robbins.
Taylor Hughes.
Matt Rayom.
And we're here as small business consultants to help small businesses of all sizes grow or get started. One of the things we do is we help people with business planning. It's very important when you have a business plan to know where you want to go. Part of a business plan, money needs to be in a business plan to make it grow, to make it successful. And we brought together some of our partners today to help you with lending. So we have Randy Myers, who's here to help from the Business Bank of Canada. And we have our friends from Community Futures CK, Peter and Brenda. So we're going to get right into it right now. And we're going to start with Peter and Brenda to tell us about lending through futures. But first
we should talk about the GoToMeeting and just the
technology of it all.
Yes, if you along the way have a question for either Randy or Brenda and Peter, there's a little function called raise your hand in GoToMeeting, and you can just click that to ask a question. You can type in your question, I believe, to the panelists, and we'll take questions after each segment.
Yeah, fire exits will be likely behind you in the room that you find yourself in. And again, just welcome everybody again, Chatham-Kent Small Business Centre. We love to be able to have the opportunity to bring some of our stakeholders and partners together to hopefully provide our community with some great business resources and support. This is hopefully going to be kind of the kickoff getting into October in our Small Business Month, and this is a session that we're going to hopefully be able to run again as originally we intended on hosting it kind of 3 times. So if you know anybody that wish they could have been there today but hasn't been, don't fret, and let them know that we'll be running something like this again in the not so distant future. And if you do have any technical issues, we do have an IT guy on hand here. His name is Quentin. He's a rock star, and his tag, I believe, is along the lines of IT technician. The menu is not right in front of me, but you'll find it if you look for him in the chat. If you have any audio, video, or any issues like that whatsoever, just send him a chat message and he'll be able to help you out. And I think we've covered most of our.
I think so. Yeah.
This is being recorded, so if you need to watch it later on, we will have a link for that later, so you can watch it over and over and over again.
To listen to Doug. Yeah. On that note, Peter, if you want to kick her off, thank you very much.
Thanks, Taylor. First of all, I would like to thank the Small Business Centre for inviting us to make our presentation. For those of you who do not know who Community Futures are, we were established in around 1985 by the federal government to help small businesses with lending. I've been with the organization for about 8-9 years. My friend Brenda has been with us for about a year. We have this fancy title as business coordinators. However, we're just lenders. My history is I was with Scotiabank for 35 years. Not as fortunate as Brenda. She is a little older than I am. She's been with she was with Scotia for about 43 years. I think we provide a good knowledge and background in commercial lending. Community Futures lends money to small businesses for startup and expansions. Our limits are 150,000 up to 150,000 for normal operations. We can lend up to 300,000. Our amortization is normal 7 years. We can go as long as 10 years. We currently have a fixed rate of interest at 5.45%. Our executive director is Donna Pollock. Donna's been with Community Futures for about 10, 14 years, somewhere in between there. She's come to us from the north. Very, very knowledgeable. We have our application process online. Brenda will explain as to how and where to go to fill that out. We have 2 lending criteria, or 2 lending programs, a regular one and one for relief. I guess the most important part of lending money to small businesses is to make sure they have a business plan. I was at a meeting a couple of months ago where a person mentioned planning businesses. And if you don't have a plan, you don't know where you're going. And the analogy made by that person was, you know, you get on an airplane and you ask the pilot where we're going. And if he says he has no plan and he doesn't know where you're going, I don't think he'd be very comfortable flying in that plane. That's the way you should look at your business. You need to have a business plan. We certainly will help you fill out a business plan. In the bank, Brenda and I both know that bank, as large as it is, each branch had a business plan. We had to review that business plan on a monthly basis. And if there are any variances, you would review those variances just to keep you back in line and know where you're going. Along with the business plan is a cash flow. And you really want to know that cash flow inside and out, upside and down. With respect to supporting small businesses, we are here. If you have any questions or if you want some advice, give us a call, email us, and we'll see what we can do to help you out. At this point in time, I'll turn it over to Brenda. She'll explain our relief program and what that's all about.
Thanks, Peter. So as Peter mentioned, we have gone pre-COVID, we were on our journey to become electronic in our application process. It sort of accelerated the program and we had to speed it up a little bit to make sure that we were able to do applications and adjudicate those applications all electronic. I'm happy to say that we are fully electronic now. So as Peter mentioned, we have, if you go to our website, cfdcck.on.ca, it will be on the last screen when I pull it up. If you go on there, there's two tabs. There's one for financing that basically takes you to our regular financing loan application where you just fill in the blanks and then you basically add all your addendums like your financial information and that kind of thing. If you're looking for the Regional Relief and Recovery Fund, that's on a different tab. If once you open up our website, it's the front page presently, and you just go to apply now. So just a few details on that because it is probably top of mind right now as small businesses like yourself are weathering the storm of this COVID, and I'm pretty sure that none of us thought it would go on this long, and it looks like it's going to continue on a little bit longer. So the Community Futures kind of got introduced midstream in this fund. So if you originally, the financial institutions were offering this program, basically $40,000, up to $40,000 through CEBA. Unfortunately, the government realized midway through that there was some very small businesses, either that they didn't have a business account or that they had not enough employees, it was just a mom and pop shop, that they were falling through the cracks. So that's why the funding was introduced by the federal government through us, through Community Futures, to have this program. And we're happy to say that we've done 25 to date through this program, and we still have some funding available. So what it is it is a maximum loan up to $40,000. Again, you go to the online application, you fill it out. It's a very shortened version of our long application. It's a 0% interest until December 31st, 2022. No principal payments also until December 31st, 2022. You can pay down any amount whenever you want and without any penalty. The key to this one is that there is a forgiveness piece. If you pay 75% of the loan down by December 31st, 2022, you will receive 25%. So for instance, if you were able to be approved for $40,000 and you paid down $30,000 by December 31st, 2022, the government would forgive you $10,000 on that loan. Subsequently, if it was $10,000, it would be 75% of that amount that you would have to pay down. The full balance, if you weren't able to pay anything down on that loan, or at least the 75% by December 31st, 2022, you would then, that alone would actually roll into a 3-year term and have to be paid by December 31st, 2025. So we're happy to take those applications. The best way is to actually go online to do the application. Once we see it online, Peter and I will pick it up, and then we will, if there's other questions we need to ask you, it goes to what Peter didn't mention is we have a board. We have a 12-person board that we're the lenders, but we don't approve the loans. It goes to our board for approval. They're all local people within Chatham-Kent and have great experiences in their own vocations, either small business people or, well, mainly small business people that are within our community. On our next page is really our contact page. Our address is 124 Thames Street. As the folks from Economic Development said, we're all housed in the same building, Economic Development, Business Development Corporation. So it's a great partnership that we can actually run things off of one another, and oftentimes we have the same clients that we're helping. Our email address is there. The only difference on that one would be that if you're reaching out to each of us, it would be for me, brenda.richardson@cftck.on.ca or peter.mcguire. But reach out by telephone. We have our QR on this page that you can actually just use your cell phone as a map for us to be located. We're typically open from 8:30 to 4:30 Monday to Friday, but we have voice message. So if you want to reach out, we're very interested in helping you grow and maintain your business, and look forward to helping you in the future. And that's it for us.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, Brenda and Peter. Great job. As Brenda mentioned, yes, we're in the same building. So it's sort of, for lack of a better phrase, sort of one-stop shopping when it comes to business planning. Randy is also in our building, and he has a great presentation for us to hear about what the BDC does as well. So Randy, take it away.
Sure. Is the slide up okay, guys?
Not yet.
Must be a user error.
So meanwhile, if you have any questions, please put them in the chat box, and we're monitoring that from here as well. So if you have any questions, no stupid questions, just ask anything you may want to know or always needed to know, and we can address those at the end. Right, Randy, you're good to go.
Okay. Hi, everybody. So yeah, my name is Randy Myers. I'm with Business Development Bank of Canada. We actually just opened the office and joined the location with CFTC and ECDEV almost 2 years ago now. So we're based all over Canada, but we've always had an office in London and Windsor, and nice to join Chatham-Kent and have a bit more of a presence here now too. So we are the only bank exclusively started for entrepreneurs. So we strictly do commercial lending and advisory for businesses in the area. We are a certified B Corp, which for most people that don't know what that is, it's kind of a nice thing to fall back on for us, because we're very proud of it. Because to be a B Corp, you basically have to have a purpose outside of just making profit, and have a better overall goal for the general community. So it's a pretty strict criteria to qualify for that, and we are a registered B Corp. So that's a nice feather in our cap. Just to go over a bit about small businesses. Obviously, everybody on the call is in business, and just to show the importance of small business in Canada. If you look at this chart, you can see that 99.8% of Canadian companies are small, medium enterprises. So it's obviously very important that we support our businesses to grow, to thrive, and to work with partners such as ECDEV and CFTC, so that we can help everybody, grow and help Canada succeed. So it's a very large percentage. These are the three pillars of BDC. So we have financing, capital, and advisory services. So there's a few different ways that we can go to help people in different avenues. As far as financing, pretty straightforward. We'll have another slide coming up that will show you the different ways that we can help as far as financing goes. We also have large unsecured capital for companies going through transitions or purchases of other companies and growth. And then advisory services, we have a whole, I guess, wide menu of different services that we have that can help your company in a variety of areas. And there's another slide that'll get a little bit more detail on that as well. So we have this support. Oops, sorry, I'm too fast there. So there's 62,000 entrepreneurs. We have 2,400 BDC employees and 123 business centers across the country. Very high, obviously, client satisfaction with what we do. And I think the reach in Chatham-Kent, some are aware of us now that we've been there for a couple of years, but I think for a lot of it, we're still a bit unknown for some people as far as what we can offer and the amount of help that we can bring. So it's nice to have things like this to kind of get the word out. So this goes through supporting entrepreneurs through good times and bad. So the nice thing is BDC is a non-demand lender. So if we commit to a loan for one of our clients, we're committed for the term. As long as the customer is, trying to work with us and make payments and they're still in business, we're committed. We're not going to call the loan. Our goal is to try to help customers thrive and grow. So just to kind of give a bit about what Peter and Brenda touched on too, there has been the BCAP program with COVID support through the government. So there's support through EDC, BDC, and then through your CFTC and your private banks as far as there was the 40,000. And then there is also some partnership deals, which I'll show here. So just to give you an idea of the support that BDC provided during COVID, we did 40,000 plus postponements. So basically postponing principal payments or interest payments for clients for 6 months, free of charge during this last COVID stretch. So obviously that was very important to help free up cash to support their business during the downturn. Direct lending, which we still have available for COVID relief. People can borrow working capital loans for whatever purposes. If you have a shortfall for cash flow and you need some support, please reach out to either CFTC or myself. We can do, if companies have been in business for more than 2 years, they can actually apply online on our website, and for up to $100,000 towards working capital to help with any COVID relief or any other cash flow shortfalls. And if you want obviously more information on that, please reach out after. So those are for anywhere up from 100,000 up to 2 million. We also supported our larger businesses, and then we have bridge financing available as well. We have 3 new advisory solutions on top of our regular menu of solutions. These are all basically have arisen out of COVID. So online sales optimization has been huge. A lot of companies have realized that this is something you have to do, is have at least some sort of an online presence. So helping our businesses move online through Shopify or whatever it may be. But obviously, if that's not your background, having a consultant or someone support you through that process can be very helpful. Cash flow obviously is the main focus for the last 6 to 8 months for most people. So coaches can help with that aspect as well. And then risk mitigation with moving back to the workplace and all the new guidelines and restrictions that people have to follow. We can help through that process as well. So here's the wide range of financing solutions. Everything from, again, working capital, buying a business, real estate, equipment, transferring a business, growth into export markets, starting a business, and investing in technology. We can support in any of these fashions. So again, you'll have the presentation to refer to after, but if you would like more information on any of these aspects, please reach out. Advisory solutions goes into different areas, whether it's a company wanting to have strategic planning for growth plans or marketing plans or whatever it may be. We can help with that process. Financial management is one of the, obviously the biggest pillars. You know, a lot of companies are very good at what they do, but if finance and accounting is not your background, we can help support you and get you set up and off with the right start or correct course, I guess, and set you up moving forward. Human resource is another option as well. So if companies have, I guess, another gap as far as setting up hiring, setting up, you know, policies and things like that and procedures for that process. Again, these are just all little ways that we can help, but there's a whole slew of solutions that we have. And if you have any interest or have any gaps or pain points in your business, please let us know, because we probably have something that can help you bridge that gap. So these are the 3 pillars of financing that we have. So I won't go into too much detail here, just because some of it is maybe not so much related to what we're speaking about today, but companies that are going through high growth phases and need a lot of capital, we can support those businesses as well with unsecured mezzanine loans. We always have initiatives with BDC. So a few of the ones that we have right now, you can see is supporting women in tech, Indigenous entrepreneurs, and clean tech obviously is a big movement moving forward, with trying to support the green initiatives and things like that. We always have initiatives with you know, topical things with what's going on. So I won't, obviously I'll let you read these yourselves. I won't read these out, but we do have a lot of success with BDC and with how we can support our businesses and work together with our partners, whether it's your operating bank, with Community Futures, with Active. We're here to support everyone and do what we can, whether it is financing, whether it is advisory, or just you know, bouncing ideas off of us or whatever it may be. We're here to support. Leave my contact information here. So if anybody has any questions, you want more information on anything really, just please reach out. We're here to help, and I can provide any answers to questions or further information that you would like. And I'll pass it back to you guys.
Thanks a lot, Randy. I just had a real quick question, honestly, either for CFTC reps or yourself, Randy. But do you find there's like any commonality that people, when they're pursuing funding opportunities, oftentimes they hit kind of a similar wall that might stop them from obtaining it? Or is it kind of like best practice, I guess, to put yourself in the best position to leverage funding from like an eligibility side?
Sorry, just can you clarify that again?
Do you find that if a small business is having a challenge to get loan funding for something, and not necessarily COVID funding specific, but just traditional funding, that when they're not, it's generally because of something similar in a lot of cases, or just what should people think about if they're looking at going after funding to give themselves being successful to get it?
I'd probably go back to what Peter mentioned before, like have a plan, because there's one thing of coming in and knowing that you need financing to buy something specific, but I mean, you need to know why. You need to know if the thing that you're buying or the thing you want financing for is the best fit for your business. And obviously we're going to want to see a plan to support and justify that plan, right? As to what you're looking to finance. So I'm not sure if you want to add to that, Peter, but plan would be.
I agree with you, Randy. The other thing is, I mean, to support it with a plan, have it in your cash flow too. Can you afford it? I mean, you may want to buy a piece of equipment, but my word, if you can't afford it, there's no way we should be going forward. So they got to really work on that cash flow.
One of the questions that we received was, when reviewing a business plan for lending, what are crucial things to look for from your perspective? Randy, you want to kick that off?
Sure. Well, a lot of it, just like what Randy and Peter have already said, is like tell your story of you're the business owner. We're here to help, but we need to get some good insight into who you are, what's your market, what's your, who's your competitors. Do you have in these day and age, because everything is going virtual, do you have a social media platform? Do you have, as Randy pointed out, if you're not the expert in that, have you seeked out a consultant? Those are all the things that we could help you with in the business counseling. But it starts with you laying out a good solid plan of who you are, what you do, who you do it with, who's your competitors, and then how are you going to put this plan, because a best laid out plan is good, but if you just put it on the shelf and say, oh, well, that's done, you need to basically be able to execute it. And that's how we can help all of us on this panel. It can help you with sometimes a tough love, basically saying this isn't realistic. You need to go back and readjust your numbers, because this isn't, you're going to fail. And we don't want anybody to fail.
Yeah, I think you're spot on, Brendan. I tell clients on a daily basis that the two best things a business plan does for you is tells you to do it, or it tells you not to do it. And if it says not to do it, that's not a bad thing. It just means that you're saving yourself some heartache, or you have to just go back to the drawing board to see if there's a different way that you can make it work. But I think that's awesome.
The one thing I would just add to that too is like, I mean, if you are planning to go into whatever business, or you have a business, you know that business very intimately, you know your own confidence levels, you know what you think you can do or what you think you can do. But you have to convince somebody else to have that same level of confidence in you. Because you have to think about it, if it was your money and you were giving to someone, with whatever you're presenting us with, would you give your own money to support that business, right? Like, you have to instill that same level of confidence in whoever is lending you money to, believe in your story, right?
Do you do any coaching when it comes to the cash flow and the finance of, do you guys do any coaching when it comes to the finance portion of a business plan? If someone's looking for help in forecasting or cash flowing, or just the repayment of debt within their business plan, are you able to help them with that if they ask?
Doug, yeah, that's exactly what we do. And I think Randy and Brenda and I, that's very important. We sit down with people and coach them as to, the things that we think might be errors, or things that are missed in the cash flow. As I said, in the bank, we got a cash flow we had a profit plan every month, and we would review it every month to see, where the variances are. And so you've got to have that cash flow. It's very, very important. And we're here to help them.
One of the most common questions we get is, I'm starting a business and I need to invest in some capital equipment, whether it's lawn equipment for a lawn service or a restaurant buying kitchen equipment. The first question we get is there free money? Is there grants available for that? Unfortunately, grants don't come to capital and startups, but you do offer lending options for capital. Do you have any special programs to help a new business with that capital investment?
I don't know if Peter, do you want me to go first, or you want to go first?
Sure, go ahead, Randy.
Yeah, so I mean, we do have, that's one of the things we offer is equipment loans. So depending on the lifespan of the equipment, whether you're buying a long-term item that was going to last 20 years, or you're buying, a heavily used piece of equipment that's going to last 5 years, we can actually spread the loan out to kind of support the lifespan of that loan. So a bit more flexibility than what you would get, I guess. Typical financing with the banks is like your 5 to 7 years. But if you're buying a longer term asset, we can do up to 12 years amortization on that to really help with cash flow and smaller payments. And then we also have a bit of flexibility as far as if you want to delay starting your principal payments right away while you're getting up and running, we can do interest only for a year or two, just to help you with that growth phase.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think Randy has better programs than we offer through Community Futures with respect to that. Randy, do you have leasing also?
No.
No, okay. I just wondered, I wasn't sure. But I think your programs are better than ours with respect to buying equipment. Because usually the prices are larger, the costs are heavier. We're more in the startup, helping people with the loans that are up to 150,000. That's where we're at. Capital, giving you some operating capital or helping you get started.
Yeah, and I guess I didn't really.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I didn't really touch on that as far as like loan sizes, but I mean locally I can support companies up to and beyond about 60 million in revenue. So the loan sizes are not usually an issue, and even beyond that. I mean I just have basically partners that I bring in to help, so we can support all sizes as far as that goes.
But to touch on what Peter said, I think that's one of the best parts of the partnership that we all have with Economic Development, Small Business Center, CFTC, and BDC is that one, there's no obligation to come in here and do anything, but when you do come in here, you're going to get a solution that actually fits you rather than just maybe being kind of pushed towards something that doesn't necessarily make the most sense for you. So don't expect to come in here and be offered a $500,000 loan on something when you only need 50 grand. You're going to get a tailored program or package that speaks to your business. And as Randy said, with the B registered B Corp, CFTC, even without that designation, they're here for the same reason, to make the community the best place it can be, and that's by providing the right solutions for the right business at the right time.
Maybe the Community Futures can speak to sort of an old rule that you used to have that people may be confused with. There was a time you could only get a loan from Community Futures if you were turned down by a bank. Would you like to speak to that? Apparently that's no longer the case.
Yeah, that is an old myth now. It was part of the mandate. However, we've sort of over years we've sort of reinvented ourselves. And yeah, that we used to have a decline letter from the bank to move forward, but that is not the case any longer. We really it's the small business's desire to work with whomever they want to work with, and with partnerships, we also have partnered with the financial institutions along with BDC. Sometimes, Randy will come in on the first position and we'll take a second. Similarly with the banks, if the deal, we just can't do the full deal, and the bank can't do the full deal, we can pick up a second position on that. So again, it's all about partnerships and it's all about helping you achieve your goals.
Perfect. That's great.
The other thing, Doug, I might mention is with Community Futures, we're here to help the small businesses. So we don't have any fees. There are no fees. You don't have to give us a fee up front. And there's no fees to pay your loan out. So we don't have a penalty for paying out the loan earlier. And that's important, especially for small business.
Right. Perfect. Thank you. So any other questions?
I think that's all I got.
Yeah. Let's before we end the call, before we have our closing words, Randy, do you have any closing words for our viewers?
I guess nothing too specific. Again, we're here to help. So if anybody has any questions or concerns or anything, we're a phone call or an email away. So just reach out. We're here to support. And if I'm not the right fit, then I can help lead you to CFTC or whoever else it may be. We all have a lot of connections as far as the financing community. So we'll help you find the right fit. We're not here to compete and things like that. We're here to find everybody the best fit and help you do well.
Perfect. And Community Futures.
Really, Randy, you said it all. It's ditto to that. We are here to help, and we pride ourselves in helping you through these partnerships. And like Randy said, if we're not the fit, we'll direct you or give you some guidance through our business counseling on who we might, maybe it's not today that you start your business or grow your business. Maybe you need a little bit more nurturing, and maybe next year, then we set that plan in motion. So here to help. You have our contact information. Please reach out.
Perfect. Closing words from you guys.
I was just going to say, you know, whether you're starting a business, buying a business, expanding a business, we've got a stable of resources here as business consultants and financial consultants with BDC and Community Futures. So we're well equipped to help you on your journey and make yourself successful. Even if you've got one aspect of your business plan that you're just not sure of, whether it's your cash flow or marketing, that's what we're here for, is to help you through that and brainstorm. So.
Yeah, and just like Peter mentioned too, the services out of Chatham-Kent Small Business Centre and Economic Development never cost a penny. So even if you're just even if you've been sitting on something for 6 months thinking, well, you know what, it's a pretty good idea, but I really don't understand what it's going to take to get this thing going and off the ground, give us a call. One of the biggest things we do more than anything anymore is brainstorm with prospective entrepreneurs, those entrepreneurs who feel like they need a little extra push to get kind of through maybe a plateau. Different things like that, but we're a resource and we have a lot of great support resources around us as well, as you can see. So whatever we can do to help, never hesitate to call us.
And that's a perfect lead into how I want to close the meeting. Please check out our website at investck.ca. You'll find business templates, you'll find information and resources there, links and connections to all of us, plus all the programs that we're currently doing. We are here to help you, and yes, as Taylor said, we don't cost a dime. A good deal.
Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
It was great. Appreciate it, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I will figure out how to awkwardly end this while we're just kind of